everyone, it's Sarah here, and this is a homeschooling video, which is different from some of the other videos that I have done. I have been homeschooling my daughter since 4th grade. She is currently going into 8th grade. I do work part-time as a nurse, so time is very valuable in my life here, and I do take a lot of time to plan out my homeschool year. We have tried all different methods of homeschooling. We used Calvert School for several years, then we kind of went in the other direction, a little bit less structured than that. Every year she grows, every year is different and better, but I found out after last year that we need to take it back to some workbooks again. Naomi is not a reader, and I was finding that she was not reading the books that I was giving her to read. So with that in mind, I'm going to kind of show what we're going to be doing for 8th grade, or the starting point. We do live in New York State. It is a more paperwork requiring state. I do not find it difficult to homeschool here though. As long as you teach what they tell you you're supposed to teach, the different subjects, you're fine. Basically it's the 4 main subjects, as well as art, gym, and library skills, which are like research skills. So since she's in 8th grade, I do want to kind of get her prepped a little bit more for high school. My daughter is not a student. She does not enjoy school, so if you have a lover of learning who is highly advanced, then you might not like the things that I have picked out to try. So with that being said, I have some goals that are for me for this year. Again, because I work part-time as well, things can get a little bit dicey at times, and I can get very, very, very tired. So this year I am back to using my Ollie planner, Ollie, O-L-L-Y. I do not do so well with paper planners for some reason. We lose them, Naomi loses it, it just does not work so well for us. I had bought Ollie some years ago and tried using it, but it wasn't getting updated. But now someone has bought it and is now updating the system, and so the bugs are getting worked out. I do not like online planners just because there are times where our internet doesn't work or things like that, and I don't want to be subject to any of that. I don't like that. I want it on my computer. So the program works very well. I put it on my computer, and I also bought it for our iPads. And I am hopeful that Naomi will be using that because she never loses her iPad. That's for darn sure. So hopefully she'll be able to use the planner on there. This year we are trying something different. I'm going to be, in preparation for high school, giving her actual grades as opposed to a pass-fail score. I'm going to be grading all of her work. So that means a little bit more effort on keeping up with her schoolwork for me, and not letting it pass by too long before I grade things. So those are my goals. And these different workbooks are going to be going throughout the year. We are not starting them all at the same time. But we will be starting with English. Writing is a struggle, so I grabbed this Jump In, a workbook for reluctant and eager writers. This is by Sharon Watson, and it is a workbook based in a way, so they work them up into writing assignments, which is just what we need. It comes with this book and also a parent guide, which gives you evaluations so that you can evaluate their paragraphs or their little compositions, whatever they're doing. It also gives some tips to help them. So, yay. So we'll see how that works out for this year. We've tried several other writing programs and none of them were quite right, so we've been playing around with it forever. My daughter expressed interest in poetry, so I purchased Grammar of Poetry by Matt Whitling. This is through Canon Press. And this is a very interesting looking book. I do not know much about poetry either, so I think it should be very interesting for both of us to go through this. This, I believe, is going to take us the first quarter. So we'll probably be doing this for English as well as the writing curriculum. And then once this is finished, we will add in these other books. One of them being Daily Reading Practice. This is by Judith Holbrook. This is obviously for grade 8. And this has weekly work where you read the same passage every day for the week and do specific activities or answer certain questions about the paragraphs. Like I said, with her not reading, I need to figure out what she's learning and what she's not and what she's doing. So I thought this would be good. They're simple. They should not take very, very long to complete. That will be going all year round. So now we get to the books that will be starting once the Grammar of Poetry is finished. I purchased vocabu-lit, Building Vocabulary Through Reading. This is level H, I believe it is the 8th grade. Just so that you know, I do believe this is Common Core aligned. I am fairly neutral when it comes to the Common Core. I don't think it has bad ideas, but I also don't want my daughter subjected to it in the math aspect. It doesn't work for her. But this is supposed to teach vocabulary, exactly what it says. And again, through reading a passage and finding context clues, and then synonyms, antonyms, and just increasing the vocabulary in general and making them think about words. This is by Perfection Learning, and it does come also with a teacher guide, which is actually thicker than the workbook, that gives all of the answers and rationales and everything else that you could possibly want. And this I found very, very, very interesting because we need to learn grammar. I think it helps us learn other languages than English as well to know our grammar. But grammar can be very boring. So I found this called Editor-in-Chief. Grammar Disasters and Punctuation Faux Pas. It's level 2 for grades 6 through 8. And it is by the Critical Thinking Company. And this, they give you paragraphs, they give you the information that teaches you the rules, then they give you paragraphs and you have to find the incorrect grammar in them and fix it, which I thought was just a little bit of a different thing. So you are like the editor-in-chief. And I figured at the end of the year we would just end with some basic, not boring reading comprehension. It's a little skinny book. It is for the middle grades, and that this would be a good thing to do right before she has to take her annual assessment test. Will I add some book reading into this? Likely, but I have not figured out what books I would like her to read. So we will, that's kind of a work in progress. She's going to be doing a lot of reading this year, so through all of these workbooks, and so haha. For history, we're going to be continuing what we did with last year. We're doing world history, and we're doing 1750 through the present. So as our core book, we have history year by year here, and it is basically a timeline of historical events with pictures and everything like that. Use this as a core to spur discussion. And then I have this, so she is almost halfway through because she did some last year, and this is Short Lessons in World History. This is by Walsh Education. I found that it was a good little book for her for last year. Hopefully it will be good for this year. There is, again, you read, she's up to the Industrial Revolution, so it's got the timeline. You read the stories, there's all kinds of vocabulary words, and all kinds of interesting puzzles. And as far as math goes, we are on an ongoing quest to catch her up. When I took her out of school at the end of 3rd grade, she really was at a first to middle of 2nd grade level when it comes to math, and we've kind of ended up just maintaining that through the course of everything. We have tried many different math programs. The reality is that math is just a struggle for her, and so you just got to pick something and figure out what we're doing. So in the middle of last year, she found that the Life of Fred series was not giving her enough practice at that point, so I switched her to teaching textbooks, and she is grade 6, and she is 3/4 of the way finished with this as of this moment, and is doing extremely well. So maybe something just needed to click, because I know sometimes it's just a maturity thing, some of these, the reading, the math, all of this. So I hope she'll be finished with the 6th grade math by the end of September. And then I have to make some decisions, because teaching textbook grade 7 is really just more of the same. There's a few more chapters added on, but it's also very pricey, considering there's only like 2 chapters that are new information, you could say. And they really are set up for you having a summer break and then starting the next level and dealing with some of that lost math material that you lose over the summer break. She does not take that long a break when it comes to math. We tend to go all summer long, so she does not forget things. So to pay that much money is, I'm not sure. So decisions will need to be made. I am thinking at this moment that I will go back to the Life of Fred and have her do decimals and percents where she stopped and was having difficulty, to make sure that she knows the material. And then maybe just skip 7th grade teaching textbooks and go straight to pre-algebra. We will see. I also have a Kumon pre-algebra workbook. So if she needs a bit of extra practice with different things, we can definitely work on that. We also have, of course, Khan Academy on our iPads and things like that. So if she needs a little extra in a couple of subjects, we can definitely do that, and that would save me quite a bit of money and just a lot of aggravation of repeating things that she really does have down now at this point. So we'll see what we end up doing. For the record, with Life of Fred, she did completely pass fractions, so we don't need to. I think she knows fractions fairly well at this point. And it was just the decimals and the percents that we really needed to work on. So we'll see what ends up happening with that, and maybe I will update you somewhere in the middle of the year to see where we are with all of these things. My daughter loves science, so we have covered almost every subject ad nauseum, I would say. So, but I don't think she's quite ready, especially because her math level is not quite up to the height of high school level science subjects. So we're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place here. So I grabbed just the first chapter of the natural science mysteries. And I thought this would also be helpful because we are making sure reading and math are completely up to date with everything. So I can purchase more of these if we decide we like it. If we don't, I have no idea what we're going to do for science, to be perfectly honest, because everything else is kind of boring at this point. She's like, yeah, I know. I mean, we've done physics, we've done everything. Like, it's just, yeah. So we'll see. So we have the activity book for this, and we'll see what ends up happening, and I will update you on that. I think there really are enough of these that it could last the whole year, and then kind of hopeful that's what's going to happen, and they are not hugely expensive, which is also a good thing. So that's kind of our setup now for homeschooling this year. I'm going to try to do some quarterly updates with how things are going, and I will talk to you all later. Bye.